Breakfast on GBNEWS with Stephen and Anne. Are you plugged in again now?
No, it's all
He's
got...
having terrible technical issues.
I'm going to have to get... You were looking
I'll
for
switch you off and on again. That would work.
Oh,
Or kick you.
Do you know, this is so old-fashioned, this kit.
Yes, it is.
Because we have these, obviously, you know, earpieces, but they're literally bits of plastic tube.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to invest in one of those fancy new ones.
Yes, I think so. I think we both will.
Yeah, because this is now my tube has snapped, so I can't hear what anyone's saying in the gallery.
Well, they're not saying anything interesting at all. Shall we take a look at today's front pages?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah, go on then. Lives will be lost, reports The Guardian. The stark words come from the consumer champion Martin Lewis as he condemned the inaction of ministers.
The Mirror adds to that, telling the government, for heaven's sakes, do something.
The Daily Mail says the energy crisis could wipe out the savings of 6 million families as the energy price cap increased by nearly £1,600 at this time yesterday.
Well, let's go through the papers in a bit more detail. Once again, with former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, and the author and journalist, James Bloodworth. Good to see you both this morning. Let's start off with, because we've been talking green stuff this morning to an extent.
Yes.
Electric cars, they're the way forward, apparently, but the Telegraph says it could be more expensive than petrol.
Slam into reverse immediately.
Yeah.
This is the Telegraph here reporting on this one. Electric cars more expensive to run than petrol. Obviously, we all know that, you know, the cost of living crisis, electric prices are going through the roof for our domestic fuel bills at home, but also affecting charging your car. Charging your car at home, for those of you that do it, is going to cost 84% more come October.
Yeah.
And the owner of a Jaguar could spend £99 more to travel the same distance as a driver of a petrol equivalent Jaguar. But it's not just Jags, obviously. I mean, people have sort of like
looking at that.
It's any ordinary cars.
That seems crazy, doesn't it? Because petrol comes from oil too. But it's just the way it is manufactured and supplied to us.
Fuel prices, petrol is going down in costs, whereas electricity is going up. So petrol is becoming cheaper to put in your car, whereas charging it is going to cost a fortune. And that's on top of the fact that electric cars are a lot more expensive to buy than ordinary cars in any case.
At the moment.
At the moment,
this has to be a short-term problem, but a massive one and terribly ironic.
Well, this is where we are now, isn't it? You know, go and get your electric car and drive it, but you can't afford to.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, James, we're looking at migrant crossings, and there's something to do with that's called TikTok Black Friday deals.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really depressing story. So smuggling gangs are using TikTok to promote like Black Friday deals to bring people to the UK. So people smugglers offering cut price TikTok Black Friday channel deals to Albanians in particular to beat the government crackdown on ahead of bank holiday. So there's been a massive rise in the number of Albanians coming to the UK in recent years, trying to come to the UK on these dangerous...
It's 60% of
60% of the channel crossings.
Yeah, so it's this year it's been 2,165 people compared to the same period, just 23.
So the smuggling gangs are deliberately seeing this as a business outlet,
Yes.
And they are now marketing themselves via TikTok. To Albanians.
Yeah, and TikTok seems to be, like many social media companies, seems to be quite slow to act in terms of getting these taken down. And this is putting people's lives at risk. I mean, I think it's important to say that up to now, you know, half of the people who've come from Albania are typically, around half people are granted asylum. So there are genuine asylum seekers there, but it seems like the part of the massive increase has been prompted by these disreputable gangs using social media to promote these dodgy deals, basically. Pay us £3,000 and we'll get you 100% guarantee to the UK.
They're literally selling it like a day trip, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, 75% off, you know, pay sort of like half the price, whatever. And, you know, trips to the UK going 3 times a week, and it's like going on a booze cruise. It's like insane.
That is crazy.
Okay, Dawn, is President Macron a friend or a foe?
He, according to Boris Johnson, who is still Prime Minister, I think, isn't he, just for a few more days?
Just about.
Who knows? He spends most of his time in Ukraine. But evidently the PM has spoken out after Liz Truss. Liz Truss at the final... Is it the final husting?
No, there's one more.
One more to come. Oh, my God.
But she was asked, wasn't she?
She was asked, is Macron a friend or a foe? And she said the jury's still out on that one. I mean, she is Foreign Secretary still, just about, and surely diplomacy is meant to be the strong point of being a foreign secretary. Oops. Quite clearly not. Anyway, so Boris has been asked about this and said no, Macron is definitely our bon buddy. He used proper French, obviously not.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah. He said, yeah, because he speaks French, obviously.
Bon
He does. Bon buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy.
No.
Anyway, so this is the Prime Minister who has not at all clashed with Macron over vaccines, nuclear submarines, fishing rights, energy supplies, the list is endless, but now they're suddenly the best of friends. But the best response is Macron himself, who, when he was told Liz Truss had, jury's out still, he said, so yes, of course, the British people, the nation which is the United Kingdom, is a friend, strong and allied, whoever its leaders are, and sometimes in spite of its leaders.
Yes, I thought that was that was very well put. Very well put.
Oh, I tell you, ouch. Ouch. Let's talk about a Russian spy in the Telegraph, James.
Who seduced NATO officers.
Yeah, so a Russian spy posing as a jet-setting jewellery designer has infiltrated NATO's one of its headquarters in the Italian city of Naples by sleeping with officers there. This is quite a fascinating story of kind of intrigue.
Jane Bond, as it were.
I was just going to say, it's very 007, isn't it?
Yeah, and so Naples is
Old-fashioned spying.
It's
very much
literally every
very much.
spy novel ever, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Was
is.
she a real risk?
Yeah, well, Naples is an important military base of NATO there. It's someone who spent a long time ingratiating herself in kind of Naples high society, had relationships, it appears, with some people who worked high up in NATO, and then was activated by the GRU, that's Russia's intelligence services, a few years ago to gather information apparently on NATO operations.
So she was a sleeper spy in more ways than one.
Yes, exactly. But she was actually found out because the Russians made a mistake of they gave her a fake passport, and they gave many GRU officers, intelligence officers, fake passports, but they used consecutive numbers. So when they found a couple of them, the intelligence services here, they saw that they all had consecutive numbers, and then that was how they were master
Rookie
spies.
mistake.
Very rookie mistake.
But don't you think that the people she was seducing would say, oh, there's a hot Russian woman, I wonder why she's possibly interested in me?
True.
I suppose the male ego comes into play then, and then they
A very dangerous thing.
that they must have something about themselves that attracted them.
Honestly, and they're probably sort of older, podgy fellas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think
Not
so.
going for
Bureaucrats.
their
Who knows?
intelligence.
Dawn, tell us about the value of sleep.
Well, whether they were getting much sleep, the people in the previous story, is another matter. But evidently, the correct amount of kit could prevent 70% of heart attacks and strokes. New research following 7,200 healthy over 50s, which may or may not include some of us sitting at the table. Shut up, you. And found just 10% just regularly get a good night's sleep.
So what is the right night's sleep?
Well, I mean,
It varies person to person.
It does vary person to person. That's the thing. They're taking it as the average, sort of like
I
7
imagine you
hours.
sort of go on about 3 hours sleep, and then
I'm ready to go all the time, Stephen,
ready to
obviously.
present another programme.
At least I wouldn't break my earpiece. I'm just saying, well, I mean, yeah, it's common sense, really, isn't it? I mean, you don't need science to tell you this, that, you know, the better sleep you have, the better your health is going to be, and a good night's sleep allows your body to rest, which relaxes your blood vessels, in return reducing blood pressure. So that is why it's the cardiac link, to be honest with you. So yeah, you roughly about, it depends on your body clock though, Stephen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
7 hours.
I doubt that many of us get as much sleep as we probably need.
No.
Not when we're doing the papers.
No.
Some days, but not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, we
I sleep in shifts.
I'm sure you do.
That's it. I get a little siesta.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it's that catnap thing, isn't it? When you get up very early. I mean, obviously, it's not just in the media. Lots of industries do that. But you get to a point in the middle of the afternoon, you suddenly go like that,
Yeah.
and you're literally headbutting on, in my case, my laptop, and it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
And you always wonder whether that's the same value of sleep as a full 8 hours in a long stretch.
Yeah,
But, you know,
I think it's a little recharge.
anyone who's ever had to do shift work, you just have to compromise.
Get on with it, yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why people might be sleeping less. It says in the paper that people our work lives, basically.
Yes, there's no such thing as a 9 to 5 anymore.
Well, plus all the stress at the moment. The stress
It's
that people
difficult
are
to
going
get to
through at
sleep
the
if you're
minute with
worried.
all the worry.
Yeah.
James, though, tell us, is is it good news that nearly half of the Ukrainian refugees here in the UK have found work?
Yeah, this I think is a really good news story. So yeah, almost half of the Ukrainians who arrived in the UK following Russia's invasion of that country, they found work despite language barriers, many people struggling with English. But we do have a recruitment issue in the labour market at the moment. Lots of companies are crying out for workers, and it seems just over half of Ukrainians have managed to get jobs. I think.
Well, that's good because it means they're contributing into society financially.
Yeah,
which is positive.
Yeah, and I imagine also helping family members who haven't been able to come over here as well. I think looking back on the war in Ukraine, I think Britain can be quite proud of its role in both helping the Ukrainians in Ukraine fight back against the Russians, but also supporting Ukrainians in coming to this country, and they look like they're paying that back by many of
And
those
all of the
people want to
stories you
work.
hear about the Ukrainian refugees who've come here, they seem to be an incredibly laudable bunch of people, prepared to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely prepared to. And they're here. They are here legally, so they can work. They're allowed to work, unlike illegal migration, obviously. And that's why Boris has been awarded the Freedom of Ukraine or whatever it was. He was given an award during the week, the highest award they can give people, because the amount of effort the UK has put into helping the Ukraine and the Ukrainians out.
Yeah, well, look, rightly so, actually. I mean, people can say what they like about Boris, but actually, when it comes to the Ukraine situation, he stepped up to the plate.
No, he did, and to be fair, absolutely he did.
Lovely.
Okay, well, that's lovely. Thank you very much indeed. We got through a load of newspapers there.
I promise you we
We got a lot in that time, didn't we? Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's only because you can't hear them in your ear. Go,
I've
shut
no
up!
idea
Shut
what
up!
they're saying to me.
Very, very quickly, have you had enough of the leadership race?
Yes!
Have you had enough of the leadership race?
Yeah, I think it's a distraction from the cost of living
Yeah,
crisis.
I think the country's had
Just
enough.
get on with
of this
running the
leadership race.
country. Someone.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's interesting.